So right now, the American people are quitting. They're quitting their job. But I want to give you a warning and I want to read you a comment from a corporate recruiter. Now, what is happening right now is something that is much different than what we've seen over the past several years. Where over the past several years, many Americans were looking for new jobs and the businesses were actually hiring. Now, things are a little bit different. We're actually seeing unemployment go up as opposed to going down. So, I'm going to break all this down in just a moment. I want to give you a warning if you're considering leaving your job for something else. So if that is you, this is the video you need to watch. Also, I want to give you a warning because even though you may not be considering leaving your job, other people are. And when they do, this could actually disrupt the US economy. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. Now I know it's crazy to think that somebody would leave a sound job, a guaranteed income for something different. But over the past year, we have been getting more and more reports of Americans that are less satisfied with their current employer. Maybe they don't like their boss, maybe they don't like fellow employees, maybe they don't like the benefits packages that have gone away, or the pay just isn't what it was. Whatever the reason may be, Americans are quitting. Albeit, there's actually fewer Americans quitting their jobs right now. According to recent data, it says that less workers have left their job this past year. Okay? It says Americans quit 39.6 million jobs in 2024. That was actually down 11% from the year before, and it was down from its recent peak in 2022. It was down 22%. So, right there, less Americans are quitting, but we are still quitting. They still expect more than 30 million Americans are going to quit their jobs here in 2025. Well, here's the problem. Look at this. It says U.S. payrolls growth totals 151,000 in February. That's less than expected. Yeah, the jobs report came out this morning, and that jobs report was mixed. Some say that this is good news for the U.S. economy. Others say it's bad news, but nobody knows. Nobody knows until we actually go through it. Look at this. It says non-farm payrolls increased by a seasonally adjusted 151,000 on the month, better than the downwardly revised 125,000 back in January, but less than the 170,000 consensus forecast. Here's where things are looking interesting. Federal government employment declined by 10,000 in February, though government payrolls overall increased by 11,000. So, government employees, for many from the state levels, they actually increased, but from the federal level, it decreased. This is where things are getting interesting because what we've seen over the past several months and really back in 2024, the reason we saw a lot of growth was because the federal government hired new people. Now, the Trump administration and the Department of Government Efficiency are looking at ways to get rid of those 100,000+ people and move on because the federal government shouldn't be the one that's footing the bill. It should be the businesses, the small businesses, the large corporations. That's what they want. Look at this. It says average hourly earnings climbed by 0.3%. That was as expected, but the annual increase is at 4%. A little bit softer than the 4.2% forecast. Okay. Now, here's the thing you need to keep in mind though. We now are seeing steady hiring and higher unemployment. What does this mean? Well, it could mean a softer labor market. Before, we kept hearing from the Federal Reserve that the jobs market was strong, right? It was strong. Hours were up, right? The hourly earnings were up. Hirings were up. Everything was up. But things are actually looking a little bit worse than what we were told. Now, I want to show you a few charts here. Okay? And just look at the direction of these, all right? That's what I want you to see. Change in payrolls. So back here, this is 2022. We were seeing 200,000, 400, right? 126. This is back 2022. Started 2023, 400. Okay. What you're seeing is it's pretty steady. It's not these big ups and downs. Okay. It's pretty steady. That's what they're talking about. That right now it's very steady, which means if it's steady, there's not a peak in hiring. There's not a big, massive, peak in firings either. But then you look at this, okay, the unemployment rate. We're at 4%. Okay, this was back in 2022. Then we went all the way down to the mid 3%. Okay, then we started coming up. Okay, now we're sitting at 4.1%. Okay, we were at 4.2% just a few months back. Okay, so again, unemployment could be sitting right about that 4% range. That's where we could see unemployment just stay. Okay, very level. Okay, so again, higher unemployment. It also goes to say the broad unemployment rate, okay, you can see it's the highest since 2021 at 8%. But this is something that's even scarier. These are the amount of people, okay, 4.9 million people are employed part-time for economic reasons, okay? The last time we were at 4.9% or 4.8% was on the, August of 2024, okay? But historically, we're down here in the low fours, okay? So again, it's going up. That's a little bit of a problem. That means more people are struggling. They're working part-time, not just because that's all they could get. It's because economic reasons, right? Some are elderly, some are students, some are, single parents, right? They can't work full-time. So a little bit of a problem there. Now, I want to show you a couple other charts though, okay? And this is, again, I'm showing you this because this is what we are seeing, all right? U.S. wage growth. Back in 2022, right, it was inflation. Now we're seeing it come down. Again, about 4%. That's what they're expecting, okay? That wage growth is going to be right about 4%. Yeah, it's gonna hurt for some people that they're not seeing these large increases, but that's where we're at. Now, I want to give you this warning, okay? Right now, experts say Americans should not be quitting their job because it could become more difficult to get a job now than it has been in the past. Experts believe that what President Trump is doing and the Trump administration are continuing to do, this is likely going to cause some turmoil, some economic problems over the next, not just a handful of months. They're saying this could go on for 1 to 2 years. So we could be seeing this kind of lull in the U.S. economy. We could see this this hiring or companies kind of go back on hiring for a little bit, right? And all because they don't know what's going to happen. If companies decide, you know what, we don't know if we're going to get hit with the tariff, so we are actually going to kind of stay put, right? Not do anything, not hiring new people. Well, here's what happens. As there's not enough hiring, what normally happens is then U.S. consumers stop spending money. Okay? Because again, that person that could have been hired has to go work for someone else, right? Or now they don't have a job, so they don't have money to spend. So U.S. consumers, their spending gets hit. Which if spending gets hit, that means businesses are not making as much money. If businesses are not making as much money, they, again, stop hiring people. And they experience layoffs. Listen to what this person has to say. This person wrote to me a while back and says, and I quote, "As a corporate recruiter for over 10 years, I can tell you that now is not the time to be looking for a new job. Some companies are still hiring, that is true, but not at the rate that we were a couple of years ago. What I am seeing right now is companies are taking resumes and conducting interviews, but not hiring unless it is a dire need. What is happening now is companies are hiring from within the company and only adding entry-level positions to overqualified applicants. Just thought I would share. So what this corporate recruiter is saying is people that are looking for a new job, don't do it. Okay, just don't do it right now, because you are gonna go in for an interview. You're gonna be asked the questions. You're gonna do everything that you're supposed to. Maybe you just rock the interview, right? It's great. The problem is these companies are not hiring like they used to. According to this person, they say that companies are hiring from within the company first and only adding entry-level positions, but they're adding those entry-level positions to people that were overqualified to begin with. They're just trying to get them in the door. And then from there, you can start working your way up. But again, do we really want to do that? Do you really want to start from the beginning? Start from an entry-level position and work your way up for the next handful of years, or with a company that you don't know? Or would you rather just stay put and at least you're guaranteed your income for now? So we'll see, but that's your warning for today. That now is not the time to be quitting your job and going to find something else. Stay put. Again, it may be a rough year to 2 years, but after that, experts believe the U.S. economy will be booming once again. So we'll see, but that's what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.